not make us cower. We're here to tell you that the spells are cast. You will not last the night.
You are the fools who will now feel my wrath.
Dragon can fall. We'll slay you with our mighty sword. Dragon can fall. Your heart will soon be ours. Dragon can fall. You are the beast we're training for. We are the party who now will fight back.
Quick, grab the magic bow. I'll distract him. You'll never defeat me, dragon.
Prepare to meet your doom.
Dragon can fall. We slayed him with our mighty swords. Dragon can fall. His heart will now be ours. Dragon can fall. He was the beast we're training for. We are the party who claim victory. From the depths of the dungeons to the tavern brawls, save the king, killed a giant. We've been through it all. I could fill up a tome, but you're not coming home. Well, we all saw it happen. We're the ones you saved. Gonna light you a candle. Gonna tell your tale by the light of the moon. We'll remember you, dying a hero. Tried to help you with that diamond, but it wouldn't save your soul. On that fateful day, the evil wizard came. Now everybody in this realm is singing out your name. Can you hear us sitting out there in the astral plane? Our adventures together went to hell and back. Spent the day slaying dragons and escaping traps, but massive damage is done. Now you're really gone. But we'll remember you, dying a hero. Tried to help you with that diamond, but it wouldn't save your soul. On that fateful day, the evil wizard came. Now everybody in this realm is singing out your name. Can you hear us sitting out there in the astral plane? Can you hear us sitting out there in the astral plane? We've come on down to the tavern for trouble and for fun, and to talk about the old prophecy. And we all sing songs at the tavern of the fights that we have won, and we dream about our next victory. Come away, adventure calls today, and tomorrow we'll tell of our tale. Come away, we'll see that dragon slain, but before we go, let's drink one more ale. Well, we won't burn down the tavern like the times we did before. It was not our fault, we swear honestly. But we'll do our dance at the tavern with the bards who've traveled far, and we'll ask them other places they've seen. Come away.
Hello, welcome. I just realized I have my feedback on. Let me know how it sounds, team. I have a AC on right now too, so might get some feedback. I hope you all have a fantastic Friday. Office hours is normally on Friday, but I'm in the studio on Fridays, and it's being harder and harder to do office hours because office hours is usually at somebody's nap time, and I need a place to do office hours. So we're trying it on Friday. We'll see how it works. Let's see. Sound clean and crisp, but lower gain than usual. Yeah, that's just because I got the AC on and it's blasting right at me because it's so hot in the studio. But I'm excited to talk to you about updates. So if you can hear me, you can see me, we're good to go. Let's see. What should we start with? We just dove into the play-by-post test and some really cool learnings. So we never got statistical significance on whether purchases were impacted negatively or positively when we separated play-by-post from campaigns. What we did see, though, was very interesting. We saw a higher, onboarding request rate in play-by-post games after we separated them out. So that is like, I go to request the game, but then I'm actually approved and it ticks off. So that approval or the actual transaction rate is much, much higher. The denial reasons, the left campaign dropped significantly, which with the evidence we had earlier, which play-by-post have a high refund rate, assuming that people were joining play-by-post games not really knowing what they were, and then like, oh, this isn't for me. So when we separated them out, we saw the actual denials go down. We saw the approvals go up. I would gather, we're still going to do some more analysis, that we will be splitting out play-by-post as its own game type if the rest of the analysis supports what we've seen already. Shitness, I think maybe one of the problems was people who didn't know what play-by-post were ending up in play-by-post games and were unhappy with them. And that's why it had such a high refund rate. That's also why it had such a high leave campaign or leave rate as well, and why the leave rate dropped dramatically. Thank you, Dungeon Am. So that's kind of news with the play-by-post. GM search, that experiment is done, and it looks like we have a winner with a new GM search functionality and layout. Let me show you what that layout looks like. We want to do Mac OS screen capture. Yes. Then we want to capture window. There we go. Okay, so let's make this a little smaller so you can see everything. Okay, there we go. So this is the variation that won. So here you see that you have the details on this side, the heart, and then a little bit of the description about the GM, and then of course any of their identity tags. This version also has some options here, like what do you want to play, your price per session, your time zone, language, GMs that are highly rated for, tools that they use, identity, and then you can also search them by name. So this is this is what won. This is what's absolutely crushing. It won by a large margin. It actually increased purchases from folks who visited the Game Master search by 30% versus the control. So that's massive. Show us all the things, yeah. So we'll be launching that pretty soon. That'll be the new version. It was an absolute banger of a win. This is also a new test that will be launching next week. Let me see if I can show you this. Yeah. Okay. So you'll see here in this mock-up, it says book private game. If you go to your Game Master profile right now, it'll say request booking. We have an assumption that request booking is confusing to users, and that sorry, and that having book private game will be more clear, and also it'll communicate with players that they can book a private game as well. And then at the very bottom here, there'll also be, don't see a game that works for you, book a private game with this Game Master and start playing. So this is another test that we'll be launching probably next week. Yeah, GM Daniel, 30% is crazy. Now remember, it's the 30% increase from, it's not a 30% conversion rate, it's 30% better from the control. Also, we are going to be testing on the GM profile another experiment where we will show Game Masters full games on the GM profile and see if that increases the likelihood of bookings. We know that if we show full games in game search, it will have a negative effect on bookings. But Game Master search might be different, and so we're going to try that. So what the test will entail is you'll see first all of the games that are available and have seats available, and then after that, all the games that are full. Now that is because we're currently testing the social proof follow and fave games, where you can follow a full game and you can get notified when someone leaves. You can follow a game that is not full and you get notified when it has enough players to start. You can also get notified on a game you're following if a new player has joined. And the idea is to create the sense of urgency and social proof. If I'm following a game because it looked fun and then I hear someone else joined and there's now only 3 seats left, I think, or my hypothesis is that people would be more likely to go than in book. Let's see. The one roll. The one roll. Every week we have, every time we have office hours, I see the same kind of question. How do I advertise? How do I get better? Use all the resources that we offer. There's the 22 tips blog post. There's the critical success emails we send out. There is the onboarding webinar, and then there is the Discord listing feedback. Use all of those tools. Those are going to help you better than I can in this small amount of time we have here on the office hours. Let's see. Now, in the test where players can follow and favorite, or they can follow games, if a game is being followed and I go and I see that game, I will see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, however many followers, however many people are following this game. So I can see that. You can't follow a game you're in. Right now, like once you're in the game, then you're no longer following it. But the idea is to also show this level of social proof. A few weeks ago, we also talked about another test. We're doing so many tests. Let me tell you how many tests we have running right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 tests running right now, and we had 3 more that we stopped this week. One of the tests that we stopped this week was surfacing player profiles pre-checkout, and that's where we'd actually show, hey, these are the players in the game. We noticed that that led to a huge spike in people actually signing up for accounts, but not for booking in games. Now, it's a smaller amount, right? We didn't see it was like a -3 to 2 to 3 to 5% lower purchase rate, which never found statistical significance. So we weren't sure if it was actually hurting purchase rates or it's just very volatile. But what we did see is it didn't it didn't positively impact things. So we're back to the drawing board and we're changing some things up on how we surface player profiles pre-checkout. Suzanne Robbins says, or even to understand how busy popular a GM is. Yeah, if a GM has a lot of full games, and you look at it, you're like, oh, this is great. Maybe I want to hit a private booking with them. Let's see. Okay, what else do we have that is on the agenda coming up? I wonder if I can even show you this one. I wonder if this is live for me. Let's see. Nope, it's not. Okay. Another test that we are doing is the more filters test. And what we're doing is we realized a number of users aren't aware of the actual breadth of filters that we have for game search. And they mostly just work with the same other ones. And we say, oh, we actually have a filter for that. Even game masters are surprised at some filters we have because they just didn't know we had that as a filter. So what we've gone and done is we've taken all the filters that normally exist on search and we've put them all behind a single button that says filters. So right now, if you go to search, you'll see that there's schedule, game master, a few others. Those are all now gone in this experiment. And instead, there's just a more filters button or filters button. When you click that, all the filters are available. Now, this also includes a really interesting component on the submit button. So normally you'd fill out your different filters of what you'd like. I want to play this game on this platform, etc. But at the bottom, where you'd hit submit, will now say show blank games. So if you have entered a lot of filters, it might say show 3 games because only 3 games fit your results. This way, if there are 0 results, you'll know, oh, whoops. Well, dang. Here we are. Okay. Go ahead and move this. I forgot that that isn't plugged into power, so my apologies. Boop, boop. Okay. Yeah, if there's not a technical difficulty, is it really office hours? Okay, let's see. What were we just talking about? I just lost my train of thought here. Oh yeah, so when you are entering in all these filters, you'll know if a filter is going to give you 0 results. So if I'm too specific, it'll say 0 results. Now, if I put, hey, I want to play D&D, and that's it, that's tons of results. What you'll see on that button is show 50 plus results. So that way we still also are semi-protective of our inventory. Let's see. Let's see. Philomania Young, did you see SPG was quoted in a small press article about between player romance IRL? Yes, actually, if y'all go to, I'll show you something cool. Blog. On our blog, you can actually see that research. Let me go and find it real quick. Huh, where did that go? Interesting. I gotta figure out why it's not showing in our blog, but we did a survey, and I dropped this to. I remember I sent it to one of our GMs. Let me see if I have this here. Okay, I'll put this in the chat. We did some cool research, and you can find it here. I don't know why it's not showing on the blog post or on the blog reel. So I'll go ahead and figure that out. Dear Sign, any World of Darkness events planned for Spooky Month? I would like to, and we'll see if we have something coming up in October. But I have been talking with Renegade. Okay. Tyler Hathaway says, would it work to add a calendar that shows when the GM already has games booked or times that you list as open? Tyler Hathaway, great question. We have actually been exploring the idea of what is called Game Master availability. The reason why we haven't launched it is it's just such a, there's so much that would require from a technical standpoint. So we are going to try and find ways that we can test something easier than just building an entire feature that shows that there's a demand for that. Because right now, less than 10 requests a month are for private bookings. I think it's something crazy small. Now, it could be catch-22 where it's like, well, we don't have enough tools for private bookings, so nobody uses it for private bookings. But at the same time, there's also really hard to measure private bookings because we only measure private bookings through the idea of what's called a custom request. Now, remember, earlier we were talking about how we're going to change that button to say book a private game rather than request booking. This is how we currently can understand if people are looking for a private game. But most GMs, what they do is if someone wants a private game, it's through a message, the GM creates the adventure and then sends it to the player. So we're going to be making some changes to see if that increases and that makes it more likely. And if that's the case, we will, of course, go ahead and build out something more akin to availability. Let's see. Are there some best practices for running in-person games currently? Very much similar to running online games. Oh, that's why. It's hanging on my, that almost fell. Okay. There we go. Let's see. What else do we have today? Oh, okay. I saw a lot of GMs talking about having a slow August, and other GMs saying the exact opposite. We did just have the highest GM earnings ever last month. We also had the highest new customers ever to join StartPlaying in a single month. August was the best month in the history of StartPlaying. It's insane. Not insane. Stupendous. Amazing. Wonderful. Thrilling. So we have seen an uptick. Historically, though, September sometimes slows down a bit, but we don't see a large slump in our data usually until November. And then, of course, a much larger slump in December. But November is where we usually start to see seasonality affect signups, new signups. Repeat signups, not as hard. The people who are repeat purchasers are usually the people who are pretty committed regardless of seasonality. All right. Let's go back to our PRDs, see if there's anything else I can talk about. We will be doing another test soon that is expanding the filters on the game search. This will be filters like exclude Pathfinder, exclude D&D. What are some of the other ones? search by seats left, so I only want to see games with 1 seat left. We also have, you'll be able to search by GM's identity in the game search, so that's some stuff that's coming out. And then, let's see. Oh, yes. And there's 2 other things we're exploring, but it's still too early to talk about those, so we won't go into that today. Okay, let's see. Game Nate, any feedback on the Draw Steel event? Yeah, I mean, the Draw Steel event was good. I still think the more that we can see a really big push from partners, the higher we see the performance on platform. And so, you know, the great work that Cosmere's done, Daggerheart, you know, the work that Draw Steel did, that really goes to show that, like, if you want a game to succeed on the platform and have a really nice ecosystem of players, that's really important. John McConnell, many GMs on Discord are talking about 500 to 1,000 plus games run, multiple active tables, while others are not seeing much. Both new GMs have been on for a while. Any thoughts? I mean, that's how anything goes, right? This is actually a great aside, right? I wanted to talk about this, especially with new GMs. So I was talking to a friend who is a let me see if I can bring up my notes here. Do I have this? No, I don't have it here. Okay. I'll try to remember what I have off the top of my head here. But if you become a plumber, you do all this training, you become a plumber, right? And your first day with your own business, like, you're not going to have any customers unless you, as an apprentice, had customers that you were able to bring over, right? Your first day as a plumber, you have no customers. You could go on a Yelp, and it doesn't mean that just because you're on Yelp, you're going to have customers the next day. You can go on a Thumbtack, but you have to go on to places, right? So the same thing as, like, a plumber goes onto these places, a GM comes on to StartPlaying. Now, if you have previous customers, that gives social proof. If you see a plumber on Yelp that has no reviews, you're likely not to hire them, right? So one of the best things a new GM can do is get those reviews. Verified reviews are really, really helpful, right? But even if you can't get verified, you get previous reviews. And this came out from a thing because my buddy Dave changed, like 5 years ago, became a plumber. And I was asking him, like, how long did it take you to get your first client? And it took him 29 days. Now, if you are successful and start playing, if you get a booking, the likelihood of a new GM signing up and then getting their first booking is like 27 days. That's their first one player to book, right? So I thought that was kind of an interesting comparison. Is you know, plumber, you only need 1 customer, right? Because in that customer, but with GMing, you need 3 to 5 customers. So it's a bit different. But when I asked him what he did, he's like, he went on every platform. He also put on the side, he like had his side of his truck, he had his business name and what he does, and he went and he did like 1,000 door hangs. So he did a lot of this work, but he got a customer in 29 days. And then that customer essentially did lead to more customers, right? You know, because of word of mouth. So if you are running great games, you will see word of mouth from your current player base. You will see these great reviews that kind of build you up, but it is really just that kicking off, that starting. Now, some GMs might be having trouble and others not. I mean, that's just kind of how some marketplaces work, where you might be going through you know, a low part and another GM's going through a high part. And if you continue to see and review your games, improve them, make changes, find things that interest your community, then you're going to continue to see success. The other thing is going out and doing other things is really valuable. Like this survey that we put out in this blog, what is it? Survey results. Sharing that with your community, sharing that as a Reddit post, sharing that as a Instagram post or on Twitch. Any of these things, you're creating content and being someone that is almost authority, right? Dave, the same plumber, what he would do is he made YouTube shorts about how to solve the smallest problems. And he just made these, right? And when people looked at his account, they also saw, like when they looked at his website, they saw all of these videos of him talking about solving the problem. He became an authority as well. So then people trusted him more. So there's all these other things you could be doing. There's always something more you can do to increase the likelihood of your bookings. There's always something more you can do to increase your business. There's no way you can max out. There's always other things you can try and do, and everything is going to work for different people. Okay. Let's see. Back to Draw Steal is best run online via their own VTT. The Codex, though it's not available choice when choosing platforms on your game listings. Any chance that you can fix that? Once they'd actually have to partner with us because we don't have usually. It has to be like some sort of partnership to add that. If not, we'd be adding so many, and we just had so many dead VTTs on the StartPlaying platform. So it's something that's going to have come from the Draw Steal team. And as we continue to talk with them, I think that's likely. But right now, we don't just add any VTT. It has to be because we've actually partnered with them. Or just it's massive size. But I believe Codex is still, it's not publicly available as well. Unless I'm wrong about that, let me know. Okay. And Druckle, I actually think Draw Steal is best run in person, isn't it? But Draw Steal the Codex is the best way to run it online. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of VT. We actually did a cleaning of platforms, and we wiped out 18 defunct VTTs from StartPlaying's list. Let's see. Okay, did I miss any questions? No. Okay. Let's see. Removing free games. We talked about that last time. Oh, we will be doing an in-person event in Chicago. We'll be sponsoring an event with a company called Wizard Staffing. So if you are in the Chicago area, I'm going to be putting out a form probably Monday. So if you're in the Chicago area, you want to participate, you go ahead and fill out that form. Let's see. What else we got? Cutoff time. So far, it looks like the cutoff time test is successful. We still want to get to statistical significance, just like anything. But right now, it looks that if we enforce a cutoff time on games, we essentially remove those games from search, the likelihood of people joining the game and then being charged in the game, aka onboarding rate, is much higher, and so is conversion rate. So there's this kind of warning that is shown to games that have a cutoff time, and that warning has led to a really low conversion rate. So it's people not booking those games, but they're not booking any other games either. So that's why we are looking to do this cutoff time. Wi-Fi, we're going to have in-person events everywhere. Nina, is SPG interested in partnering with small cons events in other countries? Not yet. We first have to figure out in-person in the U.S. before we figure out international. But I want to do that in the UK and Portugal and Mexico City and everywhere else. So it's something I want to do, but it's how we have to prioritize things. Dragon Master Roy, can we get a 48-hour cutoff time? Maybe. Who knows? I gotta wait for this test to run before I can promise anything. Eric says, any chance of pro indie designers getting some kind of spotlight? It is nearly impossible for me to get any playtesters, and this will be my third game published. We've done this. We've done spotlights with the blog. We've done with email. It doesn't work. That's not what players are looking for. I think the thing is, if you have a community that you can leverage, that shows interest, that shows social proof, then it's more likely for folks who are browsing StartPlaying to then want to take an interest in it as well. But if they see something that has no interest in it, it's very hard for a user to then be interested to try that. And that is a problem in its own self, right? But social proof is the best way to address that. So if you are running playtests and you have a community that is already interested in your playtest and they're joining it, having that playtest on Start Playing where it shows there's already 3 people interested in this game, you're more likely to see that game get bookings from folks who are browsing Start Playing, looking for something to do that Friday night, than if you were if you had known it. And so that is what I would say is if you, I have nearly 100 member community, but they can't leave me reviews. I don't know, why not? Why can't they leave you reviews? Do they not want to? Dragon Master Roy, in-person Portugal 2026. There's a convention in Portugal I really want to go to. I just really want to go to Portugal. But there's a convention that is out there that looks really cool. They can still provide reviews, and they can still sign up for your playtests on Start Playing. Elric, if you haven't taken the onboarding yet, I recommend you do so. The onboarding is the onboarding webinar that teaches you the ins and outs of the platform. It's really, really valuable if you're brand new. It tells you how to get unverified reviews from previous players, talks about how to use previous players to help launch your community to get signups for games. It's very, very valuable. Shida says, does that mean cutoff time has a meaningful cut down on double, triple, etc. bookings? We didn't look at double, triple, etc. bookings, but what we do see is people who see a game have a warning that says there's a cutoff time, don't book. They're less likely to book altogether, and the conversion rate is just really high, or really low on that, or the dropout is really high, the conversion rate is really low. So that's why we've explored this cutoff. Let's see. I've done all that. Eric, if you've done all that, then you know how to get the unverified reviews and use that that community member to kind of build up and launch games. So launch with that. All those tools are right there for you. Kit F says, I just got my game template approved and have filled out my profile, but the onboarding section of the GM profile still says I'm only at 50% completion. Well, it also says like what you need to finish there. What it says there is probably like you didn't finish filling out your profile, or there's something on the game side, but it should say under 50% why you haven't, what is the next step there. Ilric, if you have community members, then you have enough folks to launch playtests. You have folks that can go ahead and give you unverified reviews. You have a lot of tools that are there for you to start using right now. Okay, let's see what else we have. Save games, we talked about that. That's we still have to wait a few more days, so we still got evidence on that. But we started seeing people save games right off the bat. The top GM badge is expanding. The top GM badge we expanded to 30% rather than 20%, and we're waiting to see how that affects things. We're thinking it's going to stay around the same, but we want to see if we expand to more GMs, do we see that same impact on retention? Game Nate, the best thing GMs can be doing other than running great games on the platform is just participating in, the conversations around Start Playing, on social media, Reddit, etc. All that stuff's great. Every GM is a wonderful ambassador to the platform that then leads other players to trust the platform, like the platform. If I go to Reddit and I search Start Playing and I search via comments most recent, I see all these people recommending Reddit, and then that, because it is now a place that people know they can find a high source of high quality games, right? And then if a GM's on there, they know that there's this level of verification and quality that they're kind of expecting out of this. It's because all those GMs kind of helped factor that in. So just being a great ambassador is what would help SPG, Game Nate. All right, let's see. Top GM band expanding, homepage A/B test. The A/B test that we did with the homepage that had all of the filters crashed and burned. It just did not do good. We cut it. We're trying something else. We're trying the exact homepage we have currently and adding the filters on top of it to see, like, is the filters, did they really cause that much, were they really that bad to the experience? Let's see. Player profiles, save games, GM notifications. We will probably be doing a change to GM notifications that allows you to choose if you want to be notified by a game master or just follow them. So you could get an email when a GM releases a new game. You'll get an email saying, hey, this GM has a new game you can sign up for. Alternatively, if that, if I don't want to get emails for that GM and their games, I could just favorite them and get no notifications. Let's see, find games you could test, flag listing, reduce listing volume. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. I mean, there's still just so much that's going on. Like I said, we have 8 tests going on right now currently. Are there any of them I can talk about? Let's see. Reduce game listings, separate PvP, adventure card, horizontal layout, top GM badge, search cutoff, all filters and dialogue, watch list, homepage filters, GM search experiment. Yeah, those are all the tests we're going. We've kind of talked about all those. All right, that's it. We did it. That's everything that was on the list to talk about today. So now any Q&A you have, we'll go ahead and just cover. It just says set up your profile. Kit, let me ask, did you fill out a language on your profile? Did you, it's probably, most often it's language. It's because when you fill out your profile, you miss language or you miss something else. It could be like location, it could be, but if it says set up your profile, it's one of the profile items that's still missing. Let's see. Let's see. I think, question, top GM merch. Wow, that's so funny you mentioned that. I was just talking with a supplier. So we're working on something that if you've run 1,000 games, you can get. If you've run 1,000 games, you can get this thing. And we tried with some other stuff, and I didn't like it. And we sent some out. GMs didn't, they never responded to if they liked it or not, so I just assumed they didn't. So we have something else that we're looking at for GMs who've hit 1,000 games. And I think what we're gonna do is like the first 100 GMs or 500 GMs who hit 1,000 get this thing for free, and then afterwards, a GM could buy it at cost. But that's something we're looking at as far as like cool top GM merch. It looks like your beard is a bit dry. Did you run out of beard oil? Yeah, I know I left without putting anything in it today. TJ, badges. Who's got badges? I don't have badges. I don't have badges. I don't have any badges. Is there a chance to get a notification when our scheduled games for specific games are over? When our scheduled games for specific games are over, just to make sure I don't forget to schedule it for the next session. Is there a chance to get a notification when all of our scheduled games for specific game are over, just to make sure I don't forget to schedule it for the next session? Samuel, can you rephrase that? Because I think I might be reading it wrong. Flamania says sticker for every 100 to 1,000. Nat40, question, I saw a Reddit post where someone got rejected as a DM by StartPlaying Games. Is that something that happens? You never know about Reddit. Yes, I mean, we have an application process that we rolled out about 4, 5, 6 months ago. I can't remember now. If I looked up, I could find exactly. But yeah, we have an application process, and depending on how you answer those questions, how you go about it, like you could get rejected because you either don't have the right experience, or maybe you don't have the right temperament to be a professional GM, or there's all kinds of reasons why we would maybe reject a GM. And sometimes it's like, hey, come back, try later. Other times, like, we just don't think this would be the right fit for our community. And other times we're like, you're just not ready yet. Or other times, like, hey, go ahead and reapply after you take a week to look over the application again. So yeah, we do deny applications. How well do games in Spanish do? Is there a market for them? I don't know yet, but I will know sometime this year or next year, because we will be doing we'll be rolling out language as a filter, and we'll be kind of analyzing what language is the most popular. then I'll be sharing that here. Is there any new meta on the SPG speedrunning? Probably. Karen, rephrase, can you get a reminder to schedule games when there aren't any listed? Oh, maybe? Interesting. I would think that if there's nothing in your calendar, that would be a good reminder. But let me think on that one, because I haven't really heard any other GMs express that as a problem. But, you know, when we do our next kind of like GM sprint, that might be something we look at. Application process, what it look like, ask a bunch of questions, make sure that you understand how StartPlaying works, the rules of StartPlaying, code of conduct stuff. It's a bunch of fictional scenarios, like how would you handle this scenario, things like that. Norit, question, my current game is grandfathered at 9:15 a.m., but future games have to be set at the 30-minute increment. Any reason why 15-minute increments are disallowed? That just doesn't make any sense. You know, like the idea of 9 or 9:30, the idea of like I have to run my game at 9:15. What we were seeing is people use time as a way to manipulate their presence in search. And so what we wanted to do is we want to make it a lot easier. Now, if I have the 30s and if I have 30-minute increments, I have a lot less to scroll through. But if I have 15, 30, 45 hour, then I've just added another 3 data points inside of every hour that I'd have to scroll through. Let's see. Avid says, any more info about free game to booking tests you mentioned in Discord? Yes, so what we've noticed is free games in the regular search do not affect the likelihood of a paid game being booked. So we did an experiment where we removed all free games from search and want to see, hey, what's the conversion rate of paid games? And then in both versions, there's no impact. Now, we do know that if someone joins a free game, like a free one-shot or a free campaign, not a free session 0, just we're explicitly free game, the likelihood of them also then booking with that game master in another game that is paid is 1 out of 11. So it's pretty low. But we did a stunt marketing where we sent 25 people a starter set box. We essentially interviewed a bunch of people online and said, hey, do you want to learn how to play D&D? We got their information, we interviewed them, and half of them we sent a player or a starter set box to. I'm like, hey, here you go, the starter set box, everything you need to get started playing, go ahead and take it home. And then the other half, we gave them a free game on StartPlaying, free learn to play game. 2 months later, we interviewed those people. The people we gave a starter set box to, 80% of them hadn't even opened up the box. 90% of them never played. The people who we had gotten into a game, 40 to 60% of them, I'd have to look a little bit more clearly, were either still playing D&D or they were playing D&D on the platform. 70% of them had actually purchased D&D merchandise. And then something like 40% of them purchased, 60% of them purchased gaming merchandise or hobby merchandise. So we realized that there's something there around people who are not in the hobby yet, where free might work. Freemium is a very difficult thing that many businesses try to figure out. The learnings that we have so far is there might be the right customer where free does work to convert them into paid. There's also some really good insights that I heard some people talking about in chat that, like, if I'm going to pay for something, I want to make sure that I know how to take full advantage of it. And so people feeling that they needed to read up and they'd be really good before they paid for something. Others is people don't understand that this is something they want to pay for. A lot of people who, one person was in 2 games. They were in 2 campaigns after that free game. And they realized very quickly they love this, they want to be part of it, and they will willingly pay to make sure that happens. But when people when they're outside of the hobby, there might be some folks that the obstacle of price or the obstacle of I don't think I'm ready to pay yet because I don't know enough of the game seems like something that we could solve with free learn to play one-shots. And so, imagine that you open up a D&D beginner box, right? Like you bought from Target, and inside it says, learn to play this game with StartPlaying. You go to StartPlaying, you enter in a code, and you get a free game with a StartPlaying GM. and you run through it, and it's amazing, right? And then you're like, this is great. I maybe go run this for my friends, or I'm actually going to sign up with this GM. If we can find a way that works, then we can probably find a way to scale that really well with our partners, with all kinds of things. So we will probably be doing like a week or a weekend or some sort of campaign where we run a bunch of free learn to play games where GMs can opt in to be a part of this. And then we're going to go ahead and see how that cohort does. So we're going to run a big campaign of ads to it, like come here, learn to play, see how many people join, see how many people end up still playing on the platform afterwards. And then of course report that to y'all. That's what I was talking about, Avid. Let's see. The next question is from Nina. We will get to set players' price to 0 feature back again. Many GMs were upset it was taken away without adding next session free button. So having both is very difficult on the technical side. Essentially, if we have someone add for free, but they go through the booking process, there's a card authorization and a card request that's sitting in our database that is not being used. This becomes a risk. And so that's why we really want to push to the, hey, if you're going to add someone for free forever, use the email version, right? I think in the future, we'll probably also have something like a add by username when we have unique usernames. Or we might think about something where someone can join your game and you could just flip them to free forever, but you can never put them back to charging. But having that open authorization is creating a lot of problems. So we remove that, and having it with next session free, even worse. But next session free, we noticed so many GMs were losing out on revenue because they were forgetting to change back from free. We saw like something like $18,000 the first week of people who like hadn't had that money before. So that was a great move for GM like earnings. Nat 40. Do you think the new D&D starter kit is going to take off well on SPG? Heroes of the Borderlands. I don't know. You know, I don't know what the D&D Beyond version of it looks like, but you know, maybe. I think it's a really cool starter set. I looked at the starter set at Gen Con with at the D&D crew, and I think it looks really cool. Let's see. My response rate has dropped to 75%, but I've never not responded to someone. What's up with that? Nicole, I would recommend reach out to support. I can't tell you from here. What it could be is and I don't know if this is launched yet, but it could be someone who had messaged you was a spammer, and they have already been removed. But there's a update coming that like when a spammer is removed, all of their message calculations are also removed. I don't know if we released that yet, but that's an admin side thing. But that could be it, and if we haven't launched that, that might be why. But yeah, I would message support. Let's see. Let's see. And then Samuel just says, and I don't really look at the Start Playing calendar. I don't know what that's in reference to. Sorry, there's a lot of questions, and I kind of like got backed up. Oh, okay, that's all of them. I have players in play-by-post that sometimes take breaks and have to manually skip them. Yeah, Waffle. I would actually message those players like, hey, ask to go in there and like skip all the sessions you won't be able to make. They're able to skip on their side. If you know they're going to be out for 3 weeks, go ahead and skip those 3 weeks as well. If a game, for example, is 4 of 6, is there a way to lock it in so no new players can join mid-campaign? Yeah, Tawil, you can go ahead and just make the game private. You can change the table from 6 players total just to 4 players. There's a lot of stuff you can do for that. Gravy Fan says, Heroes of the Borderlands comes out September 16th. Yeah, I think I might get it just because I want to know what the Adventures is. I like Heroes of the Borderlands. Keith says, anecdote, I posted a Descent into Avernus campaign and then saw 2 others, same campaigns, same time slot, and cheaper. Mine failed anyway, and so did theirs. Published modules work. There you go, love it. Let's see. I think we might also want to make a cool like mouse pad. I made these for one of my things, but I think I want to make like some Start Playing ones. I think this might be some of the new merch we do. I think these are fun. Let's see. Do we have any other questions? Anything else I can go over today? Mousepad, I totally buy one of those. Let's see. Need an equal opportunity cheeked up barbarian mousepad. Yeah, if we come up with a cool Start Playing one. What's the other? We have some girly pop merch coming after some desires for some new merch, some girly pop merch. We're working with a really cool artist. The design's really fun. I'm really excited. That'll be launching pretty soon. Can you give a quick refresher on what's allowed for listing artwork? Yes. So you have to be the copyright holder, or there's no copyright to it, or you have permission. Because if the copyright holder comes to us and says, hey, this is infringing on our copyright, and they come to us and they say that this is their copyright, then you have marked that you're liable for that. And then we will go ahead and say, hey, this person says they have copyright, and then they can go ahead, and then you are now liable for that. If you go to any of the listing art in our Google Drive, the Shutterstock stuff you can manipulate however you want, because we license that from Shutterstock. You can twist it, change it, edit it, whatever, run with it. And then there's a bunch of stuff from publishers, and there's a README file on all the different stuff you can do there. Let's see, Shot Games, girly pop merch. We're the inspiration. There's a lot of She-Ra. There's a lot of Sailor Moon, and there's some Hex Girls. They're all kind of inspired for this design. I'm very excited about it. Aaron says, hi, I've been with Start Playing Games since 2019, but I never get to come to office hours because it conflicts with my day job. If there's one thing you wanted me to know, what would it be? That there's VODs of these, and then if you have a question that you want to ask, you can always put it. We have a new form. You can put in the question if you're not here. In fact, I almost forgot to read those, so I'm going to read them now. This is great. Isaac says, sorry, excuse me. I recently contacted Foundry VTT to ask them to collaborate with Start Playing when launching their new Ember system. However, I realized upon following up that I could only point them to support email address. Can we get a public page staging officially the benefit to them, what is expected of them, and how publishers can go about collaborating with Start Playing when launching their products? Great question. I'm actually going to be putting together a white page, which is kind of like a retrospective on the Daggerheart partnership, because it was so successful. And there's a lot that it was not just successful because of the popularity of Daggerheart in Critical Role. There are very popular systems that don't leverage everything they can the way that the Darrington Press team did. The Darrington Press team really did everything they possibly could and then some. So I'm going to be releasing an email like that, which will be a really good example of like why partnerships are great, and this would be something you could send to them. Isaac, I hope that answers your question. Next question. Earlier this week, I reported someone's behavior on the Discord server. That person is no longer on the Discord server. And their SPG link no longer works. So I am assuming they got taken down from the site. When this happens, are their current players notified of this? If so, what is told to their players? So what happens when someone is essentially banned? If someone is banned from the platform, we do tell that GM's players that the GM has been removed from the platform. But because of our privacy policy, we don't say why. We don't say, hey, this GM was removed for search manipulation, this GM was removed for harassment. We just say that this GM was removed for breaking our terms of service or code of conduct. It's very much like a generic kind of message, but we send this to all the players, and we say, like, if you need anything, please reach out to support. But that's usually what happens when we ban a GM. If we ban a player, we usually tell the GM, like, hey, just so you know, this player is no longer on the site because they broke terms of service or code of conduct, but it's all vague because of our privacy policy. Okay, last question is anonymous. Top GM badge seems like a classic move to make more money so you can afford your third Lambo. Why are you pushing top GM nonsense? Okay, well, first off, I drive a used Kia. I don't have 3 Lambos. That would be cool. But the reason why we actually decided to go to 30% GMs on the top GM is because we saw a overall lift in bookings generally. So we saw not only more people booking to top GMs, but we saw more people booking GMs overall with the top GM test. We think that this showed that this marketplace is managed in some way, so it has more trust. And so that's why we've pushed the top GM. Everything we do is your success is my success. Your success is the success of StartPlaying, right? So I've inherently tied this to all of you succeeding as well. So I need to make sure that all of our GMs succeed, and that we've seen data that this absolutely impacts that. Okay. Okay, well, that's all the questions I have in the bi-weekly Q&A for office hours. If you're not able to make it, throw your questions in here. We got another 5 minutes, so if you have any more questions that you want to ask, now is the time. Otherwise, we'll end things there. Shock Games says, I'm stoked that you named the 3 core interests. Heck yeah, girly pop merch. Yes, I'm very pumped. How's Doggo and Baby? I'm at the studio, so I'm not even with them. Baby's great. He's got 2 teeth. They're sharp as coral. He is still the cutest little nugget I've ever seen. And Valentine is his little protector, and she wants to be around him all the time. It's wonderful. I love it. Steven Mata, how can I earn top GM? Run great games. Be very focused on the games you run. Try to get your games off the ground as soon as possible. Don't cancel games if you don't have to. Try to run games even when not everyone can show. There's a lot of GMs that do this, and they do this really, really well. And I've noticed that those GMs have massive retention. If someone's canceled and you're not going to run the regular game, try to run a one-shot with the players that are still there and maybe some other players from the community, and try to get a one-shot on that time slot. Because if people only have one time to game a week, try to do everything you can to make sure you can keep them gaming every week. That's a huge thing you can be doing. Are webcams a factor for players joining, or do they not take into account? Ghost them bones. Yes and no. If you like webcams and you have a presence that is good for webcams, then you should do that. If you don't, then you shouldn't. The big thing is, if you're not comfortable on camera and then you get a webcam, everyone's going to understand that you're not comfortable on camera. And that is going to show into the game and then how you interact with people. So don't be on camera. But, for example, and this is just me thinking, I feel I'm better on camera than I am with just audio because I move so much. I keep things dynamic. So I would want to have camera on in my games, and I would suggest it because I like to get the vibe. But some people, it's all audio, and they don't need to see people. So it really depends on your preference. Let's see. Damien, when will the criteria be released for top GMs? I have to think about it because there's 40 different things that are in there, and we also don't want it to be gamified in the sense where like people are finding a way to artificially inflate that just to get that badge. So I don't know yet. It's hard, but we're still testing to see if we're even going to launch top GM badge with 30%. It might just be 20%. But at some point, we'll want to give some kind of steps on how to get to that badge. Hey boss, what did that lawyer say about your stolen likeness? Thanks for the Q&A. Gauze them bones. Oh, I already answered that question. Copernicus, is it a known bug? I just searched using Find Game Masters, and the highly rated doesn't seem to work. I search for something like teacher, and then I get GMs who aren't showing that filter. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Let's go to find GMs. Highly rated for creativity. Apply. Huh. Let's see. Highly rated for teacher. It's working for me. Let's see. Copernicus says, I just searched using Find Game Masters, and the highly rated doesn't seem to work. I search for something like teacher and get GMs who aren't showing that filter. You get GMs that aren't let's see. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think that's not their most highly rated for. Interesting. Yeah, that might be a bug. I'll check into that. Thanks for catching that, Copernicus. DM Crystal is running games. 3 weeks on, 1 off, hurting my top GM ability. No. The things that would hurt your availability is if you weren't consistent. If you're consistent running 3 games on and 1 week off, that's consistent. I want to volunteer to run onboarding webinars for GMs in Spanish. If we start doing internationalization into Spanish, I definitely would like to talk to you about that, Nina. Boom. Okay. How do we improve ourselves without knowing our KPI? I know, that's one of the things. Having some way to say like how close you are to top GM or like what you need to focus on is something we'll have to do, but it's like, how do we do that in a way that doesn't let people try to gamify it? I keep rolling a boulder up a hill, yet it keeps falling back when I reach the peak. How do I keep motivated? Gravy fan, that is unfortunately just reality sometimes. And I think you have to figure out the boulder you're rolling up the hill, is that the one you want to be rolling? That's a more philosophical question that I just might not have all the answers to. I mean, Gravy fan, when I have hard things that I need to do, or there's big challenges, I think about all the challenges I've had before and how they came out, and if I've solved them. And then I figure out, like, if I do get this, this up this next part of the hill, what does that mean next? And I think sometimes it's really hard to realize all the success you have had, because once you have it, it's kind of hard. It's kind of easy to forget. But again, like, this is kind of philosophical. I don't know if I have all the answers for you. Keith Langley, could be worse. Ego keeps eating my liver. Oh my gosh, what is happening with GMs right now? What gods did you all anger? Okay, I think that is it today, team. Thank you so much. I will see all of you on Discord, and I think we'll probably be moving office hours to to Fridays at 1. Until next time, have a great day and enjoy some jams.
About the old prophecy, and we all sing songs at the tavern.